our concern should be with what do we need to do in this 21st century to move Africa away from being cap in hand and begging for aid, for charity, for handouts.
Now, the reason why I would say you should move to Ghana is there's so many reasons, but one main reason I would say is because you want to give back to your country.
I have a message to give to all of my Africans all over the world and in Africa itself. Simply put, there are people back in your home taking your wealth. Take your skills back home.
I've adopted as the slogan of my presidency, of my period of the Supreme Office of Ghana, that we want to build a Ghana beyond aid, a Ghana which is independent, which is self-sufficient, that is capable of standing on its own feet and building its own life. We have to get away from this mindset of dependence. We want young Africans to stay in Africa.
So today, Akua Hazel are hosting a panelled discussion, and it's about changing the narrative and kind of reclaiming the narrative. So it's about the African diaspora here and the people who have already moved back to the continent, and we're just really engaging them in topics as like, what is blackness? Are the diaspora immune from the Western savior complex, which I think is going to be a very like heated segment. Gentrification of Africa, like all these things that we're doing, is it just gentrification, or are we actually developing the continent? But yeah, I think now it all is a bit surreal, and obviously I'm going back to Ghana in 2 days, so it was just a bit crazy. So yeah, this is the stuff. If you don't have a supportive family, I can't even give you advice on how to do this. But obviously from the stuff I'm doing for Akua Hazel, I'm trying to be your supportive family. But my mum, like, please, you just need to look at how much stuff she has got me. And this is all just snacks and stuff to just make sure I'm okay, basically. But yeah, so crisps, biscuits, bed covers, washing up liquid, like, the woman loves me. I also love her, obviously, you know, she's a great woman. But yeah. The Western savior complex is often kind of also put into the same bracket as the white man burden. So the idea that people in the West, the colonizers, the colonizing countries, they have that burden that, okay, what we did was wrong. In hindsight, slave trade was wrong. So let's try and make it better. So that's why you have these programs that will take large groups of people to African countries to go and volunteer with poor children and build schools. And while you'll see adverts on your TV all the time that says sponsor this child for £2 a month.
There is always going to be this question of white saviour, but we have to look at ourselves and say, well, are we working at full capacity to save ourselves? Because if we aren't, there will be another race or group of people that will say, do you know what? We can make some money out of these people.
Say, Akua Hazel.
You smell.
Change your style.
She loves that, man.
As of today, I'll be an alumni of the Ali program, which I did back in March. So today is kind of like the closing ceremony for this current cohort, but also my own. We've gone through the whole process of the community service and things of that nature. So today is a day where we get to celebrate our efforts for the past 6 months. We are now fortunate to live in this era today where it's popular to be African, but it didn't always used to be that way. In the States, it was rough. You know, people used to make fun of you because of your accent or the clothes you wore, and you almost felt bullied into being something that you really weren't. So a lot of people my age that are our diaspora lost sight of their Africanness, lost sight of their culture, lost respect for it too. And now we are at this cliff point where movies like Black Panther has come out, people are now wearing dashikis, people are now loving their culture again. You guys actually not like Nigerian jollof?
I actually really like it.
I do too.
Yeah, I really like it.
I'm a big fan. Diaspora have this entitlement that they bring with them where they feel like because they've gone to America or Europe, they've been exposed to a different culture. And it's almost this brainwashing where we feel like what we got abroad is better than what we got at home. But most of the time, that's not true at all. So Return tries to encourage people to say, take a second, slow down, and realize that you're related to these people. They're your family. They have just as much of a zeal to change things as you do. Liking the Facebook page is the center to get all the information moving forward. So if they don't like the page and they're lost moving forward. When you're in the US, people tell you that you're not fully American because you're something else. And when you come back home, people tell you that you're not Ghanaian, you're American. So, you know, for most people who have that duality of identity, it's a struggle because you're always stuck in the middle. You know, the same way that I can connect to my African American friends on race-related issues, there reaches a point where everybody in the room understands like, but you have the luxury of being from somewhere else. And then when I come here, if I talk to people about changing things and things like that, they're like, but you have the luxury of being from somewhere else. So I think being both is rough. But at the very core, I know that I really am just one. It's a stressful weekend. What's going on? Why are you sitting like a father of three? But what I'm saying to people is that even though you've left the place that you're from, you can still be connected to it.
Ghana is sweet. I'm not even gonna lie. Ghana is sweet. Once you have the coin, Ghana is sweet.
Now, it's kindergarten knowledge that for so many years, big nations with their robust infrastructure and their power and their might have been exploiting our land for so long. We all know this, right? We always complain about China is doing this, the US is doing this person is doing this and that. But my question to my millennials, simply put, is what are we going to do about it?
The African continent, when you look at its resources, should be giving monies to other places. We have huge wealth on this continent, in our own country of Ghana. And we need to have a mindset that says, we can do it. Others have done it, we can also do it.
So I run a small agency primarily focused on human resources. We also do a lot of diaspora engagement for people that want to relocate back. We provide them with like support in terms of relocation, so if they need to open up a bank or they need to go and do their hair, their nails, to as basic as that. So that's a lot. It's a lot. Everyone's back in London. I'm just the stubborn one that decided to come back and struggle with internet and traffic. But yeah, it's just me.
Hi, Maria. How are you? Good. How are you? Have a seat. Thank you for coming. So, could you tell us a bit about yourself, like you?
My name is Maria, as you know, and I am currently in Accra. I relocated from Atlanta, Georgia, recently, I would say about a month ago, to live and be closer to family. My mom lives here. She's from Germany, and she built a house here, and she wants to retire here. So I said, well, Mom, there's no reason for you to live on your own. So I had upplanted and uprooted my family as well, and we live here with her.
As a parent, you just like, factor your life, your children into everything. I have a child. She's 14 at the time. She was 12, 11, going into secondary school. And there was no way I wanted to raise her in my area, no way that I wanted to raise her in London, just because I know I'm not that far from there and I know the experiences that I had. And then also, I just know what type of person my child is, and that she's prone to certain things. So I just wanted a complete change of environment for that next stage of her life. The Western world is just going downhill. So we look at places like America, we look at places like UK and Europe, anything from like Brexit to shootings and stabbings and killings to, having to deal with people like Donald Trump as a president. So I guess, people are actually thinking, what do I want for my life? What do I want for my kids? And how can I make that happen? And where can I make that happen, most importantly?
So before we were in the UK, now we're back in sunny Ghana. So I'm just gonna take you around where I work, what I do here when I'm not doing Akua Hazel. So follow me. You cool, honey? Let's wave at Nanaba to let her know we're okay. Psst. Nanaba, he said hi. Are you okay? He said he's fine. I went to an event and I met the CEO of this company at that event, then just interacted with them from there, and they were like, you seem like a cool person, you should work for us. And I was like, I don't live in Ghana. And then they were like, you should try and do an internship. And then I literally was very serious about it. So I took one of the creative director, I took his card. Then I emailed him the next day and I was like, I'm ready to start whenever. And then they were like, okay, cool. And then I think I came in like 2 days later just to see everyone. And then I started that Monday and I was here for 3 weeks. Then when I came back in Jan, I was like, I'm staying for a while. Got any work? So when I ended up staying here, I was only meant to be staying for 3 months, and those 3 months have passed and I'm still here. And I'm enjoying life, so yeah. Because of Akua Hazel, now my work has led me here. But if I didn't have Akua Hazel, I'm sure I would still want to be in Ghana and working in Ghana. Because I just enjoy being here, I enjoy the people. Like, just everything about being here sweets me, as they would say. Sausage, egg, 2 sausage, 2 egg, brown bread. Brown bread. I think normal bread would be fine. Which one's which? This is the inaugural summer, the first trial summer basically. So I have brought people to Ghana before and they've loved it, but this is the first time it's been the work and cultural tour experience. Last time it was volunteering and cultural touring. I want it to be a life-changing experience for the people. I want them to go back and want to tell people that, listen, you need to do this.
You're recording? You're rolling?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay,
If you're rolling, I'm ready.
I'm recording now.
Okay. Yeah. I wish I would have got a different camera. I'm really excited today to be speaking at this Young Women in Programming Empowerment event. I'm really, really interested in seeing the various groups of girls and young women who will be here. I always love to share my experiences and impart knowledge on them, so I'm looking forward to what today has in store. We'll see how it goes, how it looks. Felt like I wanted to be part of the diasporan people who are coming and working to make a change, working to make the view of Africa different than what we grew up seeing, because there was always a negative view, whether it's through politics or conflict, disease, and all this strife that we would always see about Africa, but I was seeing a different side. I was seeing the positives. First of all, I want to thank Young Women in Programming for inviting me to speak today. I was very excited, and I am excited to share the message of social media in the lives of young women. There's a mixture of responses that I get from locals. I get everything from people who are happy that I moved back, because there's a sense of pride in being Ghanaian, being African. So they're impressed that I've taken the leap and left a country where they see things as being easy to come back. And then there's those who think I'm crazy and don't understand why, and have even said things like, why don't you give me your passport and I'll go there since you've come here. So I get a mixture of some who also think that maybe because you came from abroad, you think you're better, but I don't think I'm necessarily better than people. Hello, everyone. Hi. Anyone who's out on the side, if you want to participate and see what's going on with the social media awards, make your way in. My name is Ivy Prosper. Welcome to the Social Media Awards during Social Media Week Accra. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here during such. When you speak, people automatically hear your accent and they automatically assume you're rich. People automatically call you Obroni, which is white person, and you're like, do I look like a white person? No. But they call you that just because you are a foreigner and you speak differently. So that's some of the frustrations that I was facing. And also the other thing was people saying you don't have Ghanaian experience. I was like, wow. I mean, it was like that for my parents when they went to Canada. People saying you don't have Canadian experience, and then coming here and people say you don't have Ghanaian experience. If you're coming because you want to be rich and you want to make lots of money quickly, don't come, because that's not going to happen. You can't come here and expect, because there's so much hype about Africa right now. There's so much hype about Ghana. I mean, I wrote a book about an ebook on moving to Ghana. And, yes, there's a lot of excitement, but at the same time, there's a reality on the ground that it's not going to be easy. Nothing comes easy, no matter how exciting something is. I mean, people move to New York, move to LA with the excitement of being in the film industry, but it's like, you have to bust your ass. It's not easy. So if you're coming because you've heard all the hype about Africa and you've heard all the excitement, and you think it's going to just be like easy and you're going to jump in, and because you're a foreigner, everything's going to be easy, then don't come. It's not worth it. You're not going to get some special treatment. Yeah.
If I'm able to get people interested in Ghana as a place of work, a place of investment, a place even just a holiday, this is something that will continue to just, it's little waves that will come to, little ripples, that will come together to make a huge wave. I hope it will help Ghana progress. I hope that it will help Ghana to be the country that we all love.
There's so much of us moving back. We're all doing phenomenal things. I like to think I'm doing phenomenal, by the way. Even some of my clients that I've returned home and, they're making like major investments of their time, of their money, and they're projecting into the next 5, 10, 15 years of what's going to happen in the economy, what's going to happen in Ghana, and they're really trying to be a part of that narrative, and that's what we're all here for.
I find it funny how we live in these nations where we often complain and talk and fight about white supremacy and racism and prejudice and bigotry and all of these things, and there exists a land so huge, full of beautiful black people and black land and things that belong to us.
Right now I'm talking to all my Ghanaians, all my Africans who want to move back home, who are based in the UK, in America, wherever you are, if you're around the world. The opportunities are there, they're just waiting for you to grab them.
I want Ghanaians abroad to be a part of Ghana's future, Ghana's tomorrow, the Ghana that every president that takes over says that they want to develop. I want Ghana's diaspora to be just as much a part of that as possible in a way that is constructive, supportive, and lasts.